If you need to walk this.
And a healthy one.
Okay, thanks,
Vice Chair, can you call the roll?
no drama. Yes, on form here. No, even if people aren't here, just for the right now. April Adams. Joyce Adam Woman, sorry. And I know that after two, many decades. Walt Alexander,
Aquí.
okay. Deidre McIntosh Brown. Excuse me, thank you, Cameron Clark,
Here.
Felipe Castillo.
Not yet.
Okay, Vanessa Kaufman. Here. Dijon Delfino. Here. Victor Edwards.
Present.
Michael Gross. Here. Gary Hardiman.
Huge.
Monique Harding Cordero here. Raquita Henry. Present. Chris Johnson.
Present.
Thank you. Ted Kovaloff.
Here.
Tina Lumney.
Huge.
John Martin Green. Solomon Prophet.
Present.
David Ratner.
Present.
Mateen Sarsi. Okay. Shantae Styles. And Shanika Wilson. All right. So,
Include two of them,
Hmm.
if we include two
We're
of
not.
them.
we're not, but we have
Have to
more.
be present. We need
Are
an
we gonna?
in-person forum to vote on items, so. Anyway,
Thank you, everyone.
can't adopt the agenda or the minutes at this time, so we'll go right to. Our first presentation is from the. Why We Are Still Here organization. And that would be. Brianna. Mahalo. Welcome.
Hello, everyone.
Good evening.
What's the best setup, or should I just talk or?
Yes, good, yeah.
Well, we'll go closer. Y'all be brief. Hi, everyone. My name is Brianna Pompago. I'm a development consultant with the Preservation, Cultural Preservation Organization, While We Are Still Here, based here in Harlem. We received graciously funding from the West Harlem Development Corporation to produce our annual Sugar Hill Music Festival. We are in our 9th year this year, and it will take place on June 27th of 2026. At the Sugar Hill Luminaries Lawn in Harlem. It takes place there every year, and we are continuing that tradition. The Sugar Hill Music Festival was started to honor the rich musical legacy of Harlem. We cover music from jazz to Afro-Cuban salsa, you name it. We honor artists such as Duke Ellington, Diva Puente, and the Mizell Brothers. We have made headway. One second, I'm a little nervous. This is my first time.
You're with family.
That's right. We have secured our headliner. It is going to be 7-time Grammy nominated jazz vocalist Nia Freelon. She's going to be, yes, very exciting actually. She's going to be performing a few soulful renditions of her reimagined jazz classics. So we're very much looking forward to that. We are also in the process of raising additional funding through our corporate sponsorship campaign, which we just launched, as well as speaking with local businesses and eateries to secure concessions and vending opportunities for the day of the festival. The festival is a 1-day full free access festival to all who wish to come. We are expecting an uptick in attendance to reach about 400. When we started a few years ago, it was a small stage performance with less than 100 people, and we've grown through the years to about 300 plus. So we're hoping to ramp that number up this year and expecting about 40% of that attendance to be youth and seniors. So we pride ourselves on providing an intergenerational experience where those who remembered Harlem as it was being created and as it was can meet with those who are still learning about the history and powerful impact of our community. Let me just check my notes to make sure I'm giving you all the goods with that. Yeah, that is the quick nuts and bolts. Does anyone have any questions?
Yes.
Go for it.
Yeah, talk,
Monique.
Thank you. Maybe I missed it. Where's the location?
The Sugar Hill Luminaries Lawn.
Which is.
Which is where?
The exact address is escaping my mind.
155th.
Oh,
You know the lawn there, 155th and Edgecombe?
oh, okay.
That's by the park, isn't it?
Yes, it's
Yeah.
right by the two buildings that are 409 and 555 Edgecombe, which are the founding buildings of our organization, so. Okay.
You're wrong.
Yeah, literally on the lawn. Which, we're making positive use of our public space.
I'm from the Arts and Culture Committee. I would like to get a flyer, something because we e-blast that stuff out to other artists in the community. So if I give you my email address, if you send it to me,
I can do that.
and I'm glad to. And I am surprised. I've not heard about it. I'm like 5 blocks away from there. So yeah.
You'll be getting flyers in the mail soon. We do plan on doing a huge blast out to about 20,000 people through all communities in Harlem.
What is the time?
The time of the event, that is to be determined at this time.
You can send it to the district office too, but I would think right now it would get lost. So upon, as it gets closer to the actual event.
Okay, yeah, I'll take the email and I will also send along the presentation that I put together, so you all have that as a reference as well.
The other, I was gonna mention to you, we have a Arts and Culture Committee and we have the Economic Development Committee. So you talk about vendors, you might be able to assist with that. You maybe attend one of their meetings as well.
Arts and culture?
Arts and Culture, the
Yes.
guy in the back.
Okay, perfect. I'll keep an eye out for
I
that.
just saw her.
Nah, well,
Thank you, Eric.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll have you come to the other meeting so you can practice your presentation and stop your.
You did great.
It was a very good presentation.
Yeah.
Really was.
That's good.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Alrighty, we're waiting for another presenter, not here yet, so we're gonna move on.
They're on their way, they're walking.
The
We're
work.
ready for them and they.
Yeah, right. Alright, well, while we're waiting, I'll go into my chair's report. Alright.
Sure. We'll be ready here, or you have forum.
Yes. Thank you.
Happy New Year to you.
Alrighty, shares reports in your packet, I'll go through it briefly as well. Yesterday, Department of City Planning had the public hearing on 1727 Amsterdam. We had good turnouts in person and definitely online. A lot of people spoke their piece, most against the project going forward, and the present state being that number of supportive housing units in the district, we are oversaturated, and that was my point for them. That within a 10-block radius of 1727, we have 10 different types of supportive facilities, whether drug treatment, a shelter being built 2 blocks away, other supportive housing, homeless center not far, and some of them you wouldn't even know because they run very well, but still, it's still a lot concentrated in one area. Now, as you know, I've been called a NIMBY by a couple of people, but it's not that. It's in the district, it's fine. It's just that not all in that same 145th Street area, 155th. So
And so how many presenters were there? 15?
presenters,
Or, yes, I heard Ellen.
well, correct. No,
There was a
it
lot.
was about 8 of us there, and online there had to be like 10 or 15 online. Yeah, we had
That's part of it.
all the different block associations. It was
Wow.
well attended. Yeah, we had, Sydney and Barry and Tiffany,
Oh.
quite a few. So it was good.
Was there any response from any people that you get who are
The
members
commissioners,
of the?
they asked good questions, kind of leading questions. And try to provide answers. I have to follow us with, some written testimony as well. But they were attentive to what we were saying. And, hopefully they will take some of that into consideration. Like we said, it's not. Not, as I was saying, not that we don't want it. And one of the things I mentioned to them, let's be proactive, not reactionary. We're proactive, you supply affordable housing based on the people's incomes in this district. Don't call it affordable and then say it's 125,000, which is the AMI. No, affordable for people who live and work in this area. As opposed to now they're homeless and now you have to get a shelter for people. Let's flip the script.
And not give a perception of being I guess a prison or just something that is too common, taken to account as a landmark area, all of that is really important too.
Yeah,
It really is important.
this one would be, like I said, proactive and not reactionary to get a jump on things. And they're not bringing back Heritage Health. And the estimates, Heritage Health serves 10,000 people
Yeah, there's a
in
lot.
this area each year, and it's one of the few federally funded places in the area. So they tried to say, oh no, they're gonna move to the other building which they own, that has supportive housing. But they're not gonna move everything, you're losing optometry, the dental as well. Some of the AIDS, testing, HIV and AIDS testing was there, and right now, they're in court. Heritage Health is in
That's
court, being evicted from that building. So if you're saying you goodwill, where's the goodwill?
I missed that part that we jumped back and forth, but I'm sure wasn't that was asked by one of the commissioners, I believe. That question, right? How did they answer it? Okay, I just wanted to make sure it wasn't just me.
Someone from Heritage Health did come and speak
All the other.
and said that they were moving. Some of it, they didn't give a clear definition, moving some of it there, but their permits are being held up, so they can't really move forward.
They didn't have like a location or anything that they brought up. For Heritage Health to be moved to.
Yes, they
They
have.
have to build it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, but it's not as large, and it's gonna be some time.
And I still can't get what the bone of contention is. Heritage. But it
Well,
really is
yeah.
almost like anger's reactionary, it's almost like retribution or something, I don't know what. It's not clear.
Yeah. But a lot of people are losing medical care that's right there in the neighborhood, so. We'll see.
Victim.
Legionnaire's disease, Youth and I attended a meeting.
Monday.
Salt Lake. Monday, 3333, they have 2 cases of Legionnaires in one of their towers. That building's made up of 4 different towers, so five. Once you have 2 cases in the same building, then it's a, Department of Health is notified. And
Within the same year.
right, within a 12-month period, they're notified, so that is the case there, so they had a meeting to kind of explain that. To residents of Tower B, but we were saying everyone needs to know this. So they did explain that, and then we're finding out that Tower B and Tower A have the same water source. And this Legionella's bacteria, this particular, is from the hot water system. And particularly when you take the shower, the mist that comes off the shower head, that's where the bacteria is spreading. So they've been cautioned not to take showers at this point, or to hook up a regular sort of garden hose to the shower. Take your head off, shower, and then wash that way. So as we found out that A and B serve the same water source, they have to take the same precautions in both buildings. They allegedly have a vendor that's gonna start working on it. There will be a meeting next Tuesday to explain this a little further. The Department of Health will explain it, and manager will explain what actions they're taking to bring people up to speed, because that was a little bit vague at the meeting by the Department of Health, but it's, sort of a work in progress, so we're trying to work with them, so we'll be.
Will you send out a notice then to?
Yes, we'll do. One of the issues is capacity. The room that they had the meeting in isn't that big. To hold the whole building. I offered maybe, the forum, if we could do that, but right now they're gonna go with that building there. They were trying to limit the space originally to just the people affected in those towers. We were saying everyone needs them, or now they're saying, well, it's affecting Tower A as well, because it's the same water source, so. So, yeah.
Do they have, I guess legislation for how big prevention is?
Yes, there's several legislations, city council, assembly, and state legislature all have legislation that's in a process for prevention of. One of the things I said at this meeting and the prior meeting, I was always in the communities of color, it seems. So it's been Harlem, it was the Bronx, and, well, of course, we didn't get an answer, so it's saying you need maybe stricter enforcement and follow-up and fines. People understand money, if you get fined, it's good, and self-inspection just doesn't, this doesn't make sense, so I'm hoping with the legislation, Jordan Wright has, and I think, Senator Clear as well, has legislation that goes through that can improve this situation. Well,
What about the memorial to the people that passed, the people in last year? We talked about that.
we had put that on hold temporarily, we're hoping it will go forward with that. But, good reminder, so that's where we are with Legionnaires, but like I said, it's contained to the building because it's the mist from the shower head when you take a shower. So, next time was attendance review, we're looking at attendance, as you can see, we can't run a meeting without people here, we've had issues here, but general board as well. And sometimes people's schedules change, they thought they had time to do it, they don't, so just let us know and we can move forward, so. Next executive board meeting should be, the attendance review for members, so I'll keep you posted. New committee co-chair, I want to welcome Michael's here, Michael Gross, and Abraham Alexander, who is the other one. Thank you. No, not here.
Not home.
So, we welcome you onto the executive team. You'll be here with us this meeting as well, having fun, so buckle up.
Thanks.
Which committees? Economic development and,
Housing, land use, and
no, LPP.
MVP.
yeah.
Those two, all right, Columbia University apartments for non-affiliates, if appropriate, you guys walked in from Morningside Heights Community Coalition, welcome, Dan, Dave, thank you. They've been fighting, for apartments that Columbia had, for the rent stabilized, that could go back to the community. And I, supported them as they go forward and had talks with Columbia, and we've gotten 8 apartments, 4 ready to go, and some of the rents are great for people in the area. $500, $600, $700, even under $1,000, some of those apartments, and Columbia has agreed to let them to the community. We haven't, right, so it's still first come, first served from what I can see, or is there
Randomized properties, what they're talking
Got that
about.
first.
to what?
It's a randomized rate. Not sure what that means, but it's not first come, first served.
Okay, great. Because one of the points we made, people who have trouble filling out the application who end up last, or getting left out, but I just think it's a great win for us all in the community. They have some great apartments that could come back to the community, so that's a good thing. And lastly, holiday celebrations. I attended Riverside Church annual toy giveaway, that was fantastic. One of the things that I really appreciated, they invited the residents from 107th Street, they had that big fire, and the kids, they were able to get toys, they had a meal as well. And I think it's the 13th year they've done this. And our own Walter played Santa Claus, which is easy. You did a good job, yeah.
I don't think you left, I didn't see you.
No, I saw you. I was gonna put your picture on the back, but I didn't.
Wow. The kids were adorable. I mean, they just like, they ran up to me, oh, excited. Adorable.
Makes it worthwhile.
Yes, it does.
Thank you, Walt. That was really good. Representation. And a number of toys they had.
Yes,
Yeah, 10,
Yes.
15 tables.
tables and
Long
toys,
tables.
yes.
Toys, toys, you can see. What's on development called Riverside Hawks. A bunch of other people supported. It was good. It was really good. I also attended the Manhattanville Tenant Association celebration for the holidays. That was nice as well. And then our own celebration we had. It was really good, really nice. And thank you again to Yuther and her family that's always there to help serve. And all those who reached out to restaurants, thank you so much. It was really good. So, I think.
Thank the singer too.
Oh, you understand.
Oh, right, I keep saying, yeah. That was, thank you, Will.
You're welcome.
I think that covered it.
But okay.
And, just a correction.
Yes.
They're KOTA. And we have coda like, in music, KODA, it's minor, but it could be important. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
By identifying what it means.
On the minutes, okay.
Oh, yeah, that's the, oh, yes, I'm good.
Okay.
Not even that page.
So we do have a quorum and a motion to adopt the minutes with the necessary corrections.
So move.
So moved, Ted.
Okay, Ted. Second by Walter.
Second.
And to adopt the agenda as well. Any additions?
Second.
All right. Second by Andy Woolman, who's come back from the motherland to join us.
Well, this is actually not this anymore.
All right, next up, we have presentation from Morningside Heights Community Coalition. Gentlemen?
You still here?
Over here, please.
Come up.
Yeah.
You can see the new ones.
What was that, Bill?
Good evening, my name is Dave Robinson, I'm the president of the Morningside Heights Community Coalition. For those who don't know, we've been around about 10 years, we came about to try to, the seminary, in Morningside Heights, the two seminaries, Union Theological, Jewish Theological, we're building luxury towers and we put up a fight to try to get some affordable housing there, which was really not successful, but we did build an organization out of that. I've done a lot of positive things, most of which we've done together with the community board. Victor mentioned the rent regulated apartments in Columbia University buildings. I have, most of you probably remember April Tyler, who was a long-time housing advocate. I've been a housing advocate myself, and I worked with April decades ago. We wrote a resolution that the committee board adopted about the rent regulated apartments. And also when Columbia does new construction, they've just done this new building on 125th Street. We, along with community board, Senator Clear, several other elected officials, tried to get some affordable apartments in there for the community. So far, we haven't been successful, but apartments come and go in those buildings and we will continue to put up a fight about that. We've also, out of the fact that we couldn't do anything about the seminaries, we came up with a rezoning plan for Morningside Heights, which was developed right around 2020 and 21. It's kind of gotten stalled because the Adams administration, city planning has resisted it. We're hoping to get that revived. That's also something where Committee Board 9 is an applicant along with council member Abreu, and it had been a borough president with the, we're hoping new borough president will be on board with that. We've also fought for an elevator at the 125th Street #1 stop, which, we're hopeful that something will come out of, negotiations between Columbia and the FTA on that. Recently, we've gotten involved, and Dan is gonna talk about it, in, helping out small business in the neighborhood and developing what is called a social enterprise, which, to be honest with you, I knew virtually nothing about until Dan, taught me about it and some other people we've been working with. But Dan's gonna talk about that. We did get some funding in the past from West Harlem Development Corporation, to do to help with our housing work. And this year, we were funded to, work on the social enterprise, which is a new initiative which we're trying to get going, and, we are hopeful, we'll be supportive of that, and it could be a real help to the community. So Dan.
Sure, okay, great. So I'll keep it very brief because I know meetings can drag on, but thank you all for having us. My name is Dan McSweeney. I'm from 111th Street originally. Served in the military, came back, went to Columbia for grad school. That's when I became aware of all of the difficulties that exist in the neighborhood, in my opinion, and I think it's shared widely, because of the way Columbia does or doesn't interact with the neighborhood. And so MHCC is working on various fronts, as you just heard from Dave. But one of the things that we feel strongly is that local businesses are an absolutely critical element of local culture. They keep our neighborhoods diverse and stable and authentic. And that is really at the core of our mission. So using a grant from West Harlem Development Corporation, we have embarked upon an effort to promote social enterprise, which is essentially a nonprofit business. The reason we want to do that is because I have the experience of having led a veterans organization of having about half of our budget come from recycling. If and when nonprofits in our neighborhood can develop useful activities for the neighborhood that can support their nonprofit operations, it's a win-win. So we have breaking news, which is that we are going to be partnering with Broadway Community on 114th, which runs the shelter and the food pantry, to introduce a training program for local residents who want to learn about tailoring, sewing and tailoring and things like that. So we're going to probably accept about a dozen initial participants. They're going to learn about this from a gentleman who's from the neighborhood. I don't know if you all know him. His name is Henry.
Yes.
So he's an incredible person who's been doing this for decades. He's going to be the lead on it. We're going to support him, and we're going to do it probably out of the Broadway community space at the church. But not only will that eventually start to generate revenue that can support our advocacy, but it will give people training that they need to have good careers. And it can also just stabilize the neighborhood by keeping people here in the face of all of the gentrification that's occurring, that continues to occur. So that's our social enterprise. Two other quick aspects of the things that we're doing to support local businesses is, number one, looking at how we can establish a business improvement district locally. There's one on 125th, but there is not one south of there. And we think there could be, or perhaps should be. That's another thing we want to do. And then there's a third element of it, which I forgot.
The worker-owned enterprise.
That's right. Sorry, I'm a little nervous. That's why I forgot this important point. But the third element of it is we're working with a guy named Hans Taparia, who's a professor at NYU. He lives at 110th, and he's an expert, having established a very successful business in entrepreneurship and how businesses can help employees of local companies, shops, restaurants, etc., become the owners of those businesses. So through a partnership with an organization called The Working World, we want to advance this idea of employee ownership of businesses when the current owners retire, which is going to be happening a lot given the demographic shifts in our neighborhood. So those are the three elements of our social enterprise work. We couldn't be doing it without the support of Community Board 9. We appreciate it. Victor, you've been a great friend to us. We honored Victor with our Laura Friedman Community Champion Award just last month. I'm just happy to be working with y'all. So that's the story. Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, sorry, I thought I was gonna escape.
Oh, yeah.
I'd like you to come back and speak to our Economic Development Committee.
That would be great.
You might know this gentleman, Michael Groves.
I've seen him once or twice.
And Joyce had a roommate, the other. So you can come back and speak with them.
Sure.
And many other committees I think you could interact with, but definitely economic development would be great.
That would be wonderful.
Thank you guys. for all you do.
Yeah.
Question?
What were you saying about the elevator on 125 Broadway? Said any updates or problems?
Elevator,
Yeah.
anything new?
The, Columbia and the MTA were engaged in negotiations. I mean, the deal with the MTA is they were willing to put up some of the money, but they felt, and I think we all agree, that it's right at the beginning of the Columbia new campus. And Columbia has an obligation, like a lot of other private businesses, to help defray the costs. So I think Columbia sort of in principle has agreed on it. And they've been negotiating on the terms, and Assemblymember Lasher was involved in kind of pushing this along. And gave them a deadline at the end of the year, which I was told they were likely to meet, but. I don't know about your experience with Columbia, but mine is that it's always like a little further down the road.
They keep pushing the case.
So, we are, what's the phrase, cautiously optimistic. Which is, way beyond where we usually are with Columbia.
Also, you know, the CBA talks about Columbia's obligation to upgrade the two escalators on the west side of Roswell.
Yeah.
But now, with hopefully this elevator project will happen, they're not gonna do the escalators.
No, actually, I think they are going to do.
I thought it was delayed.
One of the things that happened is that last year had a town hall a few months ago. And I think especially Andrea and a couple of others reiterated how important the escalators are. So I think the escalators, which, most people are gonna use, or the escalators, not everyone can use elevators. And certainly it'll be years before the elevator's complete. I think they're gonna, assuming this comes to pass, they are gonna upgrade those escalators, which, it's unpredictable about when they work.
Yeah. Question?
Tova Peterson, is she connected to your tailoring program? If not, I'd like to give you her name and number.
The name is ringing a bell, but I don't have any specific recollection of working with her. But that would be great if you could.
And she spoke before the community board some years back, maybe it was 3 years ago, 4 years ago.
That would be good.
Any connection? Kevin?
Because maybe I missed it, but what's the cost associated with the Taylor program? And then also how can folks support the employee ownership initiative that you were talking about?
So our vision is that it would be free for the participants. That's, I think, the best way to do it. So we're figuring out how that can occur with donated space, which initially would be, we think, a Broadway community.
Okay,
But by the way, we're asking Columbia for a storefront,
okay.
and that would be amazing. We want to keep it to zero cost. And what was the second thing?
The second thing was on how folks can support, I think you said.
The worker ownership, right.
Worker ownership.
So through Hans and the group called The Working World, which has done a lot of great work, not only here in New York, but nationally. We're identifying local businesses that could participate in a program. The first one to have done it successfully locally is Pastici on LaSalle. So we've been canvassing other businesses. I was into like 91 of them a couple of months ago to just kind of introduce ourselves and let them know things like this are happening. If you have any that may be interested and you can let me know, that would be awesome.
Okay.
Because we can sit down with them and introduce them to the concept, see whether or not it's viable. And if they think that it is, introduce them directly to the Working World so they can start the process. And if it goes well, Working World has capital that could help facilitate the purchase of the actual business.
Gotcha. And then just to clarify, so the Taylor training program, training community members in like sewing and tailoring, and then is the idea to raise revenue that they then like produce goods through like a storefront that is supported by Columbia and then the revenue goes to Morningside?
That could be one way that it happens. It's still very much being fleshed out.
Got it.
But we know we need a location.
Hmm.
We need the person to train, and we have him, thankfully. And I think perhaps working through Community Board 9, we could identify the participants, the initial cohort.
Hmm.
But as far as what the flows of values are and all that other stuff, we want it to be transparent and equitable, but we haven't gotten to that point yet. We've got it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I have a question. You said that you spoke about 91 businesses.
Yes.
What has been your experience with them? Are they willing to come out and be involved in things or?
To be blunt, they're busy as hell, right? So, even when we had a community enterprise, a forum, I guess about, 2.5 months ago, or maybe 3 months ago. We got a handful of them to come, but they seem to be so busy just doing their daily operations that it's hard to get their attention and break away for even just a few hours. There are some that are receptive, and then I have found that there are some that really don't know what you're talking about and don't care. Just to be honest, you know, what I mean, which I understand. But if we can identify a few key ones and show people that it works, then I think it's like a snowball that you can start with.
The most applicable businesses, if I'm correct, would be those with a pretty healthy number of staff people. Like a restaurant that has a good number of staff, like the Speechy does, and
Yeah.
if there's a laundry, something that has fair amount of people working. That's more viable than it's a 1 and 2 person show.
So they did, and it's an amazing thing by coincidence, my granddaughter lives in Brooklyn and she went to daycare center that they had done. They worked with the women that run the daycare center, they did a fantastic job to make it viable.
So they bought their daycare center, the women bought their daycare center.
Right. So, the one other thing I want to get back to the housing just for a minute, the community board's been circulating the application, it's due January 31st, and we're all really committed to having the applicants that come and are accepted from Community Board 9. So, we really want to encourage people to find other people to apply, and there are a variety, I think it's 1, 2, or 3 bedroom apartments. Split between the 4.
And we believe they'll accept vouchers too.
They definitely, it's headlined that voucher holders is accepted. I'm not quite sure how they screen, or we're trying to figure that out, but. We really wanna, it's illegal to discriminate against voucher holders, but, in this case, they are encouraging voucher holders as well.
Where the applications are, or they're online or something?
I think the community board.
We have the flyers, one is in the front window and at the front desk. We will be having copies at the general board
Okay.
and making announcements.
Great, so that.
Yes, and we
Again,
even.
the deadline is the 31st.
Okay. Good time.
That's a drop in the bucket, 8 apartments, it's not a big deal, right? However, at least it's something, and we want to encourage Columbia to do more. And that's gonna take community pressure.
And it's by lottery?
Yeah.
Well, they have this company, perhaps people have heard of it, called Infinite Horizons. That is kind of running this operation, and they're selecting for a randomized waiting list. How they're selecting whether, somebody's blindfolded, is just picking, names out of a hat, or whether it's something else.
And do you know, when the selections are made? If there's.
Really
like,
soon after
polling
the
or-
31st, I'm not quite sure. The apartments apparently, these 4 apartments are actually on 109th,
Mhm.
right off Broadway, so
Tour?
it's 4.
Oh,
Technically, they're in Board 7, but Board 9's where Columbia's displaced people, so we want the people moving in.
Probably have a smart question. Are they giving priority to like handicap folks and or seniors?
I can't tell. I mean, all we can tell is there's some frequently asked questions in there. And they imply that it is a very random process, but I don't know what that means. They say, for example, that they can't refuse to rent a 3-bedroom apartment to one person, which makes no sense. But hopefully that won't happen.
Okay.
so they put all the apartments in one hat, and if you're a single person and you pick up your headline.
Oh.
You know, those are great questions. This is new, this hasn't happened.
I had reached out to, Boston, to get, really again, to see if we can get a little more clarification, something like that, that doesn't make sense. When you have a family in a one bedroom. So,
A lot of things don't make sense.
well. All right, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
All right, next up is, let me skip, President's report.
No, yeah, I talked to Deidre, just now, and, yeah, she said she didn't have any updates,
No change.
no changes.
Okay.
Other than our regular bills for cleaning. and-
Yeah, so everything's,
We get, Kim.
We're working on it.
No, funding is not there. Thank you.
That one we're gonna have to. That I asked once.
Because I spoke to her today.
Yeah.
She said she's working on the logo. She should have a, what do you call it, a photo, like, if you guys are looking at it, I guess. Well, not, she's changing it, or making it more accessible, because onto your stuff, it changes. So she has photos that will sales, so that you can look at it to see the your satisfaction.
So we'll be getting it on the total fan where
Everything.
everything.
Yeah.
And
With the photo, it's, you know, all stuff for visibility.
thank you.
My report is included in your packet. In addition, I wanted to announce that the Jazz Power Organization is hosting a MLK Day event at the Harlem School of the Arts. In addition to music performances featuring both youth and adult artists, the event will include community resource tables. These tables are intended to highlight organizations whose missions aligns with Dr. King's advocacy, including social justice, housing equity, environmental justice, and related areas of community empowerment. If you know of an organization that resonates with Dr. King's work and would like to be interested in participating, please have them contact Arlene Rodriguez Martinez of Jazz Power Initiative at 917-818-1759. Also, I'm repeating, as I did at the general board, homeless outreach or population estimate survey. Please join the NYC Department of Social Services on the evening or the night of Tuesday, January 27th, 2026, from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. Volunteers will canvass the neighborhoods across the 5 boroughs to help count homeless New Yorkers. This critical one-night event helps DSS improve services, move individuals into safe, stable housing. You can sign up and volunteer for the HOPE survey by visiting nyc.gov/hope. And holiday party. Thank you letters went out to Manners, Mafunga, West Side Market, Dinosaur Barbecue, Masawa Ethiopian Restaurant, and anonymous donors, thanking them for their contributions to our holiday party, which was a successful event. The refreshments were fantastic. The best in a long time.
They were good.
They were
They
good.
were good this time.
And that concludes my report.
126th Street bid, anything?
Nothing to report, we didn't meet.
We'll go into committee reports. Starting with seniors.
We had, Tony Gonzalez from Arts and Minds did a slide presentation. And Lily, hey, like Forster Lady Years came and did a presentation. They spoke to us all. And looking, and we have a new committee member now, so President has now joined the action.
I don't know.
And that was it. We had someone assigned to this, to us, strategic. We'll get another volunteer.
Oh, I'm just saying.
All right. Won't even answer.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. All righty, thank you.
Troublesome.
Health and environment.
Maybe? Cameron, you wanna
Sure.
start us that?
So our previous meeting was what, Tuesday or Monday? Monday, and so we had presentations from, we had a presentation on 33 Broadway from Victor. We had, the African Services Committee came and presented to us and talked about some of the services that they're offering. And so we're gonna.
Good vibes in the park.
And Good Vibes in the Park also came to share a little bit of information. So for folks who, aren't familiar with African Service Committee, they, they're down on, I think it's off like 126th Street, right on the way to St. Mary's. And, so they provide, run a food pantry, but they also provide a variety of social services to folks. Contrary to the name, it's not just for folks of African descent, it's for basically anybody who's in need of resources. I think, I would say an emphasis on folks who are, immigrants or have some sort of immigration status. But, I think they provide services to folks all over. And then Good Vibes in the Park, that's been running for, I think, 7 years plus, running, over in St. Nicholas Park, providing sort of, community public events, music, meditation, mindfulness, with an emphasis on mental health and wellness. And so they both received funding from West Harlem Development Corporation, so they both came to give us a few updates. And so once they share a little bit of additional information, then we'll send out, some of those flyers so that we can distribute those a little bit more widely. In terms of, other stuff on no current updates on Legionnaires, I know folks might be aware that there's like, a pending sort of nurses strike from NISNA that's gonna affect like a lot of hospitals across the city. So, that's scheduled to start on Monday if the parties don't come to a resolution. I think it's a little bit inconvenient to like our sort of committee meeting times, but I think we're gonna try to have, some representatives from NISNA come and speak to us if, this is still an issue, when we get around to our next meeting. Now, we'll try to figure a way to fit it in some other time.
And you did receive my email from Fred Korn?
Yeah, I think we haven't discussed, but I think we're gonna figure out, because I know we're happy to hear from the hospitals, but I think we really want to hear from NISNA. So I think that's trying to figure out a way to make sure that everybody is informed.
Is there any foreseeable resolution, you think?
I mean, the issues, just so folks are aware, the issues that nurses have been striking for, and that has been the issue with like every strike at every hospital was understaffing.
Right.
So critically understaffed, and rather than sort of staff hospitals appropriately, a lot of these hospitals, this is New York Presbyterian, Mount Sinai, this is basically every hospital in the area, decides to, run completely unsafe ratios with nurses dealing with like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 patients per nurse. And, that results in, unsafe scenarios for patients and for nurses. So all they're really asking for is appropriate levels of staffing. And that is something that the hospitals are unable to manage. So instead of staffing the hospitals appropriately, they decide to try to break the strike by calling in, remote travel nurses as scabs, essentially, so that they can break the strike, so that they can return the staffing levels to unsafe levels. So I don't understand the logic of the hospital other than, sort of trying to maximize revenue, but that's sort of the situation that we're dealing with right now.
But that's not the city hospital, so that's the private.
No, this is the
The
private.
city hospital selling the Taylor Royal, so you probably can't strike them.
No, I
But I
think they
believe
can.
the nurses of the city hospitals can still strike. I don't know. I would need to get information on whether they're a strike, because I know, as far as I know, this is like essentially like the largest strike in decades.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Essentially like citywide, so this is thousands of nurses that are participating. Yes, they do. So we'll have updates on that as we hear. If if it comes in between our community board meeting times, then I'll make sure to send out like an update via email so folks can stay up to date.
I think the last time they had threatened to strike. And Laquita, you can confirm this, they came to our.
Yeah.
Health and
Yes,
finance meeting.
usually they were pretty sort of regular.
They were at that time, yeah.
Yeah, meetings, the nurses. I'm not sure who the officers are now. So that's one thing I was thinking about. I'll reach out on that, and Edwin may be in, touch with them too, so I'll sure to find out.
If we need it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mike, is this just one union that's on strike, or is it like a collection of different nurses?
So NISNA is the New York State Nurses Association. It's like the state union for nurses. And so they represent nurses at all of these hospitals.
Yeah, so it's. All right, thank you, folks. Strategic planning, anything
And
to?
actually, just to close that, so they actually, I'm just reading this literally right now. They reached resolutions with hospitals in Brooklyn. But the remaining hospitals are Mount Sinai Hospital, Mount Sinai West, Mount Sinai Morningside, New York Presbyterian, Montefiore, and Bronx Care. Those are the hospitals that are still
That's usually the
in
way it
conflict.
is, too.
Yeah.
It's, yeah, last time it was the same way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no significant change. We're still focused on the bylaws and Columbia Community Benefits Agreement.
Okay, great. Economic development.
Okay, all right, great to be back. We had our meeting on Tuesday and we welcomed Michael Gross. And he was generous. So we had presentations from So Harlem. Janet Rodriguez presented So Harlem. It's like an incubator for those people who are interested in the fashion business or for designers. And so she talked about what they do there. And we also had presentation from Ladies of Hope Ministries who work with formerly incarcerated women. We are looking forward to working with them to see how we can provide work sites for their clients as formerly incarcerated women, because many of them need to be employed so that they're not sent back to prison. That's one thing we're looking forward to. We are also talked about in the, thank you to Chair for reminding us. In the benefit, I'm almost gonna say it, and then I'll pass it over to Michael. So in the benefit agreement, it talks about Columbia's business students being serving as interns in the various businesses in this community. So we're also going to be looking at making that happen. Michael, what else?
Yeah, we talked a little bit about building on some of the work that Dan and Dave just presented on with the Morningside Side Heights Community Coalition to create some kind of a small business summit for all the small businesses that are in our district. I know that's something that we did about a year ago.
Yeah.
We can find a time that's sort of feasible for most of the businesses or as many as possible, that we can sort of pull off. I think that'll be really great. We talked about the West Harlem Piers again, sort of revisited that, how we can bring more folks over there, especially as the weather starts to get warmer over the next couple of months. I thought that was good too. Last thing I'll mention is So Harlem actually lost a lot of federal funding. They had grants that were cut due to like Trump DEI measures. And so I don't think they're hurting too bad. They seem to be doing all right. But yeah, I'm sure they can use our help.
Anything
hurts. Yeah.
Fabulous concept. They were beautiful setup.
Yeah.
All right, thank you both. Dejan and Chris, just keep in mind that this group in particular.
I'm just listening to them.
Yeah, take a look at the CBA to see what is, for them in particular, it's the whole section on
economic development.
Yeah, I think it's a strategy. One of the things that we can definitely do is drop by each of the committees also. And chat with the committees, but I think definitely some type of business incubator. And there's some other opportunities, things that we're kind of thinking about some other groups. So yeah, as I heard that, I'm like, I will link back to you guys.
Yeah, and I think, yeah,
And you, sir.
Thank you. You sent out an email about AI workshop for businesses in the
Yeah.
area. Will that affect you guys as well?
Absolutely, it's
okay.
something that, you know, I asked the question about how, I asked Dan, you know, how has it been? Working with the businesses, because, you know, it's one thing to have all these great programs, you know, we have to figure out. How do we actually get them to attend? Because they are so busy, some of them are short staffed, some of them don't care. You know, they just want to survive. So, there are all these great, programs, but we just gotta figure out how we're gonna get them to it.
yeah.
Or
I think-
maybe a liaison that from one business we bring information to the other businesses.
Yeah, I mean, I think
That's
something we def-
Some type of incentive somewhere.
Yeah.
something we
That's
definitely
good.
talked about is if we're gonna sort of set up this program with Columbia Business School students,
Yeah.
making them come over to these parts of the district and making them actually sort of talk to business owners. Instead of, you know,
be
familiar with the
area you want them to work in, they
need that Yeah.
familiarity to it, yes.
So one of the things they mentioned also was a bid
But,
for this area.
Yeah.
With people involved.
yeah, I think that's definitely
yeah,
something to think about.
Yeah.
I think we'd have to talk to business owners about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that UN has tried to do something similar. You know, they calls it something else.
There's a merchants association.
Right, the merchant side, right? Thank you.
You can take a look at
Yeah,
that. and
Yes.
Bring them in for a meeting, see how you can work with them.
I've attended some of their meetings, invite them to come in, sure.
Where are they, like in terms of the coverage of the association?
The coverage.
You said the merchants association exists?
Right.
Yeah, that's
Well.
So there was an SBS grant originally given to Women's Chamber of Commerce. To set up Merchants Association in Alton Heights. That grant was later transferred to. On One Stop,
Okay.
which has. I gather organized it, and there was the head of emergency, the administrator or executive director. Do you remember her name, Victor? It was like Reagan or Grace, like her last name I forget, but she testified. Yesterday at the hearing,
Okay.
727, the merchants who are opposed to the development, so it is active. I think it's mostly focused around Amsterdam and Broadway right now, but you should invite you to her meeting. Or
Yeah.
And the other, you might have touched on it partly, but one of the things the students and even some senior executives, there's a senior business executives group also. Can come in individually, say if there's some grant possibilities for businesses, there are a number of them that our businesses don't even know about a lot of times for whatever reason. But they may need help just in completing the application, but it's doable.
Yeah.
Where they actually come in, sit with business owner, but just stay there and do the application. That's what a lot of our businesses need, that kind of hands-on assistance.
I think that's definitely what we sort of had in mind with this, with the idea of like a small business summit,
Yes.
is to like have like actual
Mhm.
workshops. Where just like we tell people ahead of the summit, come with anything that you sort of to get done.
Sit down. with the
Or
computer.
find out more about, exactly, yeah.
Yes, we did that last year with the business
That was a
conference that we
nice,
had.
yeah, I was there.
So
part of it.
we wanna build upon that. We had so UMass so come and do a walkthrough of the application. So we wanna do more of that. So the senior business administrators that you were talking about.
There's a name, they're very well known, but if they used to advertise and they were available, I haven't heard. So much.
If you, if you.
Yeah.
But I was like, not SPF, but no, these are actual senior executives and they go out or else people come in them and actually are hands-on, but I'll find out.
Please.
Yes.
Thank you.
Righty, moving on to uniform services. Alvin,
We did not meet.
They won't meet until Monday.
We meet on Monday,
gotcha.
but something of note is, I think you brought it up last month, was Deputy Inspector Tavares has been reassigned, and I think it's now Captain Moore. It's at the 26th precinct, and at the 30th precinct, Captain Rose has been reassigned to the 32nd precinct. And they are doing interviews for a new commanding officer. Tuesday is the interview, so I think a couple of us here have been invited to participate in that.
Right.
I don't know how many candidates are up for the spot. The last time we did an interview was 2.
No,
From what I remember.
3,
Was it
last time?
3 this year as well.
Oh, three is, okay. Are any of them?
I don't know who they are yet.
Okay.
Yeah,
I had some questions,
yes, I have sent the questions downtown.
great.
Oh, they have to get in with him.
Sorry,
They have to be sent in advance?
yes, they have to be sent in advance to be vetted downtown, and then they'll send us the questions that they approve. And then the president of the community council will then ask the questions to the candidate.
Also, today I got noticed that, what's his town, Stevenson?
Yes, Stevenson has been moved to terrorist. Who? Terrorism.
What's the title
He's Chief Stevenson,
for,
but he's been moved to the terrorism.
Control Borough North, but now he's been.
Yeah,
okay,
someone else is now.
right,
Yeah, I have to.
no people all over.
Yes, so we have to do the whole gamut, we have to look at Joe Borough North, the community affairs, all of them.
Canvas,
We're not meeting until the 22nd of this month, but we do have a fun presentation that will take place, cooking with cannabis, something towards the new year. Something fun.
Okay.
So we have a culinary expert who will be coming, we're finalizing the agenda.
Cannabis cake.
rounders?
Well, it's gonna go beyond browns.
Oh.
It's gonna be more, yeah. So more details to come. And like I said, we're finalizing the agenda and we'll share and you're welcome to join.
So it's like, oh, it is a case now?
No, I didn't say that. Never said that. A demonstration, the person will, there will be a recipe cards that we will secure and share. So, yeah, those samples. Yep, those samples, yes.
Well, this also be an opportunity for those who widely use cannabis. To also go over some etiquette that came across, etiquette.
Etiquette is who use it,
Not in how they, like, in lobbies of business, residences, standing right in front of, homes and the smoke is going up here. It's like they just don't care in front of the schools. So that was, I know part of what came out of, this state cannabis, whatever, but it seems to be ignored. And I think that's why there's such,
I mean, they're supposed to be following the same rules as people who smoke.
Yeah.
Cigarettes,
So just take the opportunity to repeat that, and that would be a good time.
Right, I mean, we usually have, the precinct come and report out when there are concerns about stuff, illegal activity. Taking place, particularly on Broadway. And so I know we invite them, they're supposed to, Officer Schumer is supposed to come. Certainly we can, have that discussion with him.
It doesn't always have to be the police telling them, it could just be regular citizens.
Yeah, like ads a couple years ago on like anti-social smoking.
Or,
They're
like on subways and stuff.
On the trains.
Well, it's not better.
I'm worried.
No, the ads were on.
The ads were like.
Oh,
on
yeah.
The ads were on, and like, don't, smoke in the garage.
What was, yeah, I was like, just don't smoke around kids.
Don't smoke.
Yeah, oh, wow, that's good.
Yeah.
I've made a note to see how we can dive into that more, but it's
There
gonna
may be more reception coming from my neighbors, friends.
very good, thank you.
Okay, I forgot to mention one thing, I'm sorry to interrupt,
I was gonna say, I don't have any.
okay, FDNY, you had asked about.
Yeah.
Outreach to FDNY.
Yeah.
So I did send an email to them, they told me that I guess there's leadership turnover happening with the new administration coming in, so they said they would get back to us.
Okay,
But they're aware of, the issues we brought
okay.
to my questions, and we're talking about the fires.
Yeah, the number of
Oh,
fires,
it's the same
it's like every day, there's a fire somewhere and often deadly. We had one on 151st last week. Right off Broadway, and private home this morning out in Queens. It was, yeah, I don't know if they're all related, if they're heaters, if they're smoking, or if they're e-bike or what, but
There was one on 107 a couple weeks ago too.
oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Faulty electrical wiring.
So maybe they could give us some ideas on what the causes are, what preventative measures to be taken. When I started jotting down some stuff, just people to know, clutter in your apartment, make sure you access for getting out or to a fire escape is not blocked. So, and make sure you know how to get out, seniors in particular, with disability, can you get out on a fire escape? That might be the only way out, so look at that, or through iron, have stuff that's hanging. E-bike storage of the batteries could be another source. Faulty heater, there's how many people use heaters. They tip over at night or something and then there's a fire, so.
Or just old wiring,
yeah.
old electrical.
So they can give us some hints on that we can pass on, yeah.
And Victor, I know, we have a letter, from, the health committee, and Lena is working to edit, modify, and bring it, to shorten it.
Okay.
And so for you, hopefully you'll be pleased with it, maybe we can have it ready by, before the general board and distribute. We wanted to have it ready tonight, but it's not, because I didn't check back. But, we also have, I know Monique responded, I sent it to, I forwarded it to you.
Vanessa Kaufman
responded
too, I think.
I forgot to add her name on that, so I'll do it while we're sitting here, because we need your input as well.
When by when?
Well, this week, so
Okay,
that's,
no problem.
Friday, just look over what's there,
Not a problem.
And so hopefully, and then there was someone else, who wrote a lot, I think Heather, anyway, so we have to add all that in. To make it, something, but I think in this instance, it has to be not directed to the legislators, but really to the people. And,
right,
not only link NYC, not for letter, but for a message maybe. We're always bringing up Link NYC, but it's a little harder, time consuming to do, but we can try it. But I think even if we got a letter and we send that letter to tenants associations, where it's posted right in their buildings, or to organizations and senior citizens, like to. But that's just.
So we're gonna add it on the action items?
Oh, if we could get it together, yes, I think we, yeah, I will have my faith, put my faith in Lena. To add all of it.
Okay.
Thank you for clarifying.
Yes, I just want to go back to the fire. Is it possible for us to promote, fire blankets? The use of fire blankets in our districts, since we're having so many with the.
I guess,
What?
you have to know how to use them.
The same way that, we had this sanitation bin in our district, and, the pilot program started here. Perhaps we can, work with elected officials.
To have them Purchase and
Purchase.
distribute.
Or even, yes, maybe at a discounted rate, we could buy it at a discounted rate. Perhaps we can use the participatory budget, you know,
That's not what
do that, and then have training on how to use,
how to use it.
yeah.
Like put them in the lobbies and each floor.
Exactly.
I would make a note of that.
It would be great to add the participatory budget, cause there's $1 million.
Exactly.
That when you sit down and they get enough people that vote on it, it will become a reality. Mhm.
Yeah, and then just instructions on how to use it.
Right.
That would be good. Good idea.
Proactive.
Yeah.
And we could look at like where it's been used before and see if it's been effective and what you need to do. Cause I haven't thought about fire blankets in haven't seen one in a while, but.
FDNY, they demonstrations.
Yeah.
So you really have to listen out when the borough president and the other electeds have their participatory budget, because you have to be there and vote on it and encourage your neighbors to vote on it. The more votes they get for it, it becomes a reality.
Yeah, I came to committee with 9, we really want to push this.
Yeah,
We could definitely get the word out,
Yeah.
but
We get part of the letter even,
Yeah.
that we was one of the recommendations and then tell them that they get off the recommendations that they want us to push. We're talking to the people.
Oh, yeah. It's a good idea.
Tell them what we want.
Where are we? That cover all the committees?
Arts and culture, but I was excused.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, what?
Where's Daria and Tina?
See, they're both out
Yeah.
today, yeah.
What about youth and education?
They're both
Strategic
out.
planning? Oh, yeah.
No, youth
the youth and
education.
education don't meet until next week.
Yeah, and they're out as well, so. Um. Any other reports that I might have missed? Any action items?
Well, we're gonna add one that's not written, but if everyone seems to be in favor of the idea, I know the committee was pretty much in favor of,
It's a letter of
so-
support.
Letter, I called it a letter of concern, so letter of support, we could word it that way, but so it's going to. Something we wanna direct, maybe it could be in the newspaper, depending on how it's written, maybe there's 2 different formats. Cause the Daily News article, I think, was really good and got a lot of attention from people. But we can probably letter of support.
And what did be letter of support regarding?
The reducing the number of fires in our community, although it was directed to the elderly population initially, but we could add a couple of paragraphs and deal with just fires in general. But I
Within
think
Community District 9?
Yeah,
And the fires, are they in affordable housing more so, or?
They're.
they're seemingly
Everywhere.
apartments, but yeah, they some
Private
mention of
houses.
private houses,
Yeah.
yeah. And most of the victims they talked about were like 99, 90, 86. They really. And so it means the families have to help
Yeah,
them,
if they're living with families,
Right.
sometimes it's still.
or even if they're just looking, if they're a caregiver or just to check out for them.
So it's a variety of places. And what I saw this morning was a private home. They showed people jumping out. the window.
But those are not the elderly.
Hamilton Terrace earlier was also a private home, well, but it was a multifamily
Right.
brownstone. And they do tend to be in affordable housing that's not specifically affordable housing, but is de facto affordable housing because it's rent regulated buildings. That's, they tend not to be in the more recently built buildings.
The reason I ask this is because I think a lot of times when it's winter time, that's that automated heat that comes on, so it's really like it's not really up to the residents to control that, it's more so controlled by the building itself, so that might be a cause. To be honest.
The heating system itself or the resident providing them.
itself.
I mean, I think what happens in a lot of these is that the buildings themselves, will have, either faulty non-functional or the landlord simply will not turn on the heating systems when they're supposed to. And so residents, in order to sort of like keep themselves warm, will use, you know,
Turn on the oven.
like oven, will use space heater, you know.
Find that fire in the Bronx.
Yeah.
But yeah, the
Well,
Twin,
so-
Parks town.
Yeah.
Twin Parks, really?
Yeah, Twin Parks town, yeah,
Yeah,
those,
I know.
those huge, that was a huge fire.
Oh, that
And
happened.
also, the space.
Those are space.
Recently or before?
That was.
That was the one that happened
Couple
a
years
couple years ago.
Couple years
Yeah.
ago.
And so I think for me, I think of this more as like a housing issue.
Yeah.
Than like and I think, I still think like the idea about like fire blankets is like a really good idea, but I think in the letter that we were writing, I think that, you know, in addition to sort of all the fire education stuff, I think that there's also like a call. And this is, you know, maybe a good opportunity because the current mayor is hosting like, you know, housing tenant town halls right now. I think an opportunity to testify and say like, hey, this is actually an issue for tenants as well, is like this issue of like under enforcement of heating regulations that like is currently the law in the city that you're supposed to keep the apartments no colder than 64 degrees or 62 degrees at night. And that's clearly not the case for a lot of folks in
That's a
Marlboro.
good reminder, 'cause we need to have that conversation as part of this whole thing.
62 is cold.
62 is cold.
In my building, we're experiencing the same thing, and one issue that I think that we should bring up is, like you said, that there's laws, but getting HPD to enforce is totally different. So in my building, we haven't had gas since June, and so therefore we haven't had heat all winter. We've all been calling and putting in complaints. HPD actually closed the gas complaint because they called the landlord, he said, don't worry, I'm working on it. So they-
Yeah, that's what they do, they're into it.
And so we finally just now got another inspector out to do the heating. And then when they called me to follow up, I said, well, what about the gas complaint? Because until you resolve the gas, the heat's not coming back. And then they finally reopened the gas complaint. Because they literally closed it because he said he was working on it, even though he'd never applied for any permits to fix the gas leak. So when I said, "Don't you have access to those permits, it's open record, why would you not at least do the due diligence of your job? To look and see, has he even applied for the emergency permit? If he hasn't, clearly he's not taking care of it. But they said, oh, you seem like a nice guy. Okay.
You know,
And going from that, now there's 7 units in my building, all of them running space heaters at once. Right?
Wow.
With old faulty electricity, no ground stove, so it's like a fire waiting to happen, so to tie it back in, so.
Yeah.
So I think that I agree with Cameron, it is more of a housing issue than anything else.
two Columbia-owned buildings in Morningside Heights, also, there's one that doesn't have cooking gas, hasn't had it for like 5 months. There were two that we heard about that had no heating in like December, when it started to get cold. And heard that they turned it back on, but then it turned off again, and so. A lot of that going on.
Yeah. Vanessa, you had a point?
Oh, I was, when they were talking about the fire blankets and things like that. The first, before they get the grasp of the fire blanket, they probably have some education on those fire, carbon monoxide. That once the landlord put it in, they gotta change it every 6 months. They have to, know how the door is supposed to shut so that it closes automatically if you come out. Know about being on the ground and
Oh, all safety, technology.
and sometimes those are easiest to.
Yeah, not everybody can open a blanket and put the fire out, it's better to just get out sometimes, so. Something to look at as well. Okay, thank you. Right.
Experience, huh?
Well, we know all committees I covered, right? Actions items, we're gonna have one. Any old business? You,
Yes. Quick.
Yeah.
Newsletter.
there you
So we did a trial run of the newsletter that came out, was in December. I'm trying to remember, or November.
November, I think it was,
Right, the goal was to restart a newsletter so that we can get information out into the community. And we're looking to do something electronic, and one of the questions I wanted to pose to the board is the question about frequency. And I asked the question, being mindful that our office team will be the ones that would do the heavy lifting. But I wanted to try to get some feedback from all of you in terms of whether or not you thought doing something monthly or every other month might be of use and interest. And this would tie into the website, because the goal also is to update and make sure information is easily available on our website. So as I'm trying to work with the office team, I just wanted to try to get some quick feedback from all of you.
I suggest bi-monthly and then ask for volunteers, because I'd be willing to come in and help out.
I would come in and help out.
You mean,
as well.
wait, do you mean bi-monthly?
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
you
every
said-
2 months, every 2 months, yeah.
Who are you?
I'm not, I was Robinson. We met before.
I know we have, yeah. Are you officially on?
Not official.
Okay, but you're here.
Potential candidate.
But you can't,
All right, well, thank you. I didn't mean to sound rude. You're welcome, all people here to support the community board. So bi-monthly.
Every month, every other month. yeah.
Really.
I think that's rough, but go ahead.
I was gonna,
Right.
let's see, that seems a little far in between though.
Well, we only meet 10 months of the year, so that's like five out, 5 months.
You too? Okay, bi-monthly, okay, and I heard,
Good time you.
Solomon say quarterly?
I thought we're.
And just to clarify, when he said bi-monthly, he meant every other month, not twice a month.
Sorry, every
You're
other
right.
month.
That's what he
Yeah.
meant, yeah.
Yeah.
Just
I'm sorry.
same thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think we do enough in this, enough in terms of getting information out. Once you establish a template and just drop it in and get it out. My goal in working with the team is to get information out in a way that's easy to read. It's all in one place. I know Victor only has like 100 emails to read a day. I might have slightly, a little less than that. And for me, centralizing it and going to one place would be helpful, but I just also thought it would be useful as a board. So bi-monthly, getting information out to all of you is a start. Is there anything else that?
You can always call
One
on
thing-
Victor on Sundays to help out.
Oh, okay, I'll make a note.
I mean, I,
One thing is very important is that it states at the very beginning, how often this is going to occur. Is it monthly? Is it every other week? Whatever it is, what it should, so when the person picks it up, they know
What to expect.
what to expect out of it.
publication.
What is it?
Very good. Okay, thank you, Marita. I heard some other chatter.
oh yeah, I was just gonna say, I have I mean, I was looking at the one that was sent out, but I can also share a template for a newsletter that I do for another organization that I'm with, if that would be helpful.
I mean, we've been looking at a few, but
Yeah.
we can be open to others so that in the end it'd be easy to use and get information out in a timely and in a well-informed way.
For sure.
So thank you, please share. Anything else, team?
Curiosity, I received the community board 10 newsletter. How often does that get sent out?
Every week,
Oh,
Every week.
Whoa.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's really extensive too.
every Friday.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
And it's not the office that does it. They have a public relations committee or whatever. Yeah,
Separate from the.
Mina, cause I had asked Mina about it when she was there. And she was like, no way could we do that. They have a separate,
So they have a committee that's devoted to that.
On the board or private entity?
on the board.
It's open every week.
That's still a lot.
Yeah, I mean, that.
So there's a board member, you're saying?
But if you've not, it's worth looking at.
If it's organized, you can do that, yeah.
Kind of an interesting
So
style.
organized.
And it's weekly.
Weekly.
I said, I didn't go there, but it's.
You send out emails daily as we get information. It's like, because some of that stuff is dated. You gotta turn it around right away. So in addition, I think Board 10 sends out their normal mailings like we do. And then at the end of the week, they have this mass like publication newsletter.
I mean, that
And I think you could cover a broader area than what you have to send out every day. If you know this is coming, you could, have a broader area of information in that.
That was my thought, but.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, that is like something that we could consider, cause like, I think you and Ashley just constantly churning out emails, but like if we did it, just like waited to send them in like a digest, like once a week, we basically have that, like I said, as opposed to just sending them out as soon as we.
It's timely.
Yes, for the time
So
sensitive
it
ones, but sure.
depends, I mean.
All right, we
Don't
can
we send it back
take.
also?
Hmm?
Don't we also send it back to us?
We send them out as they come. And we're reintroducing the monthly or bi-monthly digest with newsletter. But right now, you get everything as it comes.
Right, yeah. So, yeah,
Topic for further discussion.
Okay, well, thank you for having that, for having the conversation, and we'll keep
Yes.
working on it.
I'll check with Ted as well. All right, anything else on, newsletter?
Adjourn?
No.
Not yet.
Oh, I was just saying, this.
Did you just say adjourn?
No, I thought it was, I can't.
I thought Cameron did.
Well, wait.
Wait, so there was no new business.
All right, no new business, no.
Then you're up for a motion.
I'm thinking about it.
So moved, Ted.
Okay, I'll take a motion to adjourn at this
So
time.
move,
Second.
unanimous consent,
Adjourn at 8:20.
great.
No, I have 8:20. This is the iPhone.
8:20.
Okay. 8:20. Motion for a filibuster, you know. Keep this going.
Oh, murder.
This is it. It's been a long week. Good night, Ted.
Take care. Are we
Bye,
on
David. Feel better.
for the uniform services on Monday or Wednesday?
Monday, the 12th.
Right?
Okay, thank you. I'll see you then.
Yes. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
No, we don't.